friends, this is the Paper Chef here. Welcome to part 6 of my Rainbow of Happiness workshop series. In this series, we'll be creating this nice card here using lots of the designer series paper that's available for one more day. And it is called the Sunshine and Rainbows Designer Series paper by Stampin' Up. I wanted to create a card which would showcase this paper before the end of Celebration, and it sure does because it showcases 1, 2, 3, and this is the 4th piece of that paper. So it's really just a fun card. So I'm just calling it a Sunshine and Rainbows card. I don't really have another name for it. Maybe a panel card. We could call it panels because we're using panels. So this ends February 28th. This paper's free. You can't buy it. You can just earn it, meaning you get this paper for free when you spend $50 at my Stampin' Up store. There's my link. I'm going to continue this series because I still have something else to create in this series. We're going to do a part 7. I'll show you what we're making in part 7, along with other projects I created in this series. The bundle that I'm using, the stamp set, this one here, is called Rainbow of Happiness Bundle, and it comes with the stamp set and dies, and this is going to be part of this is part of our mini catalog. So this is still available. This one, well, I'm not sure if it's still available, but it'll come back. If we ran out of dies, if they're still not back in stock, they should come back soon. But this catalog here, with the stamp set in it, is good until June 30th. So at some point, you'll still be able to get these really cool rainbow dies. But it's just that the paper is what you want to stock up on, the designer series paper. All right, so let's do this. Let's just start by, I thought it'd be easier if I start by doing the card itself. And in my tutorials in this series, I like to just start at the very beginning so that everybody is on the same page and that it takes the mystery out of this. It looks like it looks like hard, but it's not hard at all. I would just say a lot of steps. Okay, a lot of steps. And I'm not writing these down until maybe later because there's not going to be enough room to write it down and do all this stuff. So let's take a piece of black cardstock and let's think about this before we try to cut it or before we try to score it. We're going to have a card that's going to stand up like this. It's these, what I do in my series are A2 cards. So it's going to stand up. So if it's going to stand up, let's lay it out like this and go, okay, well, I can get 2 on a 8.5 by 11 sheet of cardstock, right? But where I score is this way. Okay, I'm going to be scoring vertically. Okay, so you have to kind of open up your card and just kind of look at logically how you're going to score something before you cut it. Now that way, you see what I did is I made a score line in the black cardstock, and now I'm able to get 2 cards at the same time. I scored 2 cards at the same time, and in my Simply Scored, you could also score with your paper trimmer, but I like to score with my Simply Scored. Then when I put it on the paper trimmer, I just go ahead and cut it at 5.5 because the paper was 8.5 by 11 to start with, and I have an A2 card. And now I have 2 A2 cards because they're both scored. Okay, so that's the first thing we're going to do. The second thing we're going to do is get the panels we need for our Magenta Madness piece that's going to go on this card. So let's take this and let's do 5.25. Okay, we're just making a regular panel, right? 5.25 by 4, meaning this is the one I always make. This is the one that we're going to make for the inside too. So far, I've just done the same things I do in every card tutorial, pretty much. We always make these same layers. This is a 1/4 inch smaller. It may be easier to see it on this side. A 1/4 inch smaller than the black cardstock. Okay, so far so good. Now, I'm going to take some basic white. I have shimmery white mixed in with my basic white. So that really, the shimmery white's the one that's kind of off-white. We're going to take a piece of regular basic white. This one here. Actually, I have 2. Looks like there's 2 there. Let's just take 1. It's easier to cut. When you're doing cardstock, I like to cut in 1 layer. When you're doing designer series paper, I cut in more than 1 layer. Let's go ahead and cut 4 by 5.25 twice. And then I can assemble the card and do some die cutting. Save the other piece of white for die cutting. Done with the trimmer for now. We'll get back to it in a moment. Okay, let's find the little spatula or something. Sometimes I like to use the edge of this Simply Scored along with the spatula. It's just my habit. And it's easier than to use the edge of that. When you fold your card, this is the valley. I scored down into the valley. I'm going to bend that up like a mountain. Put that in the corner of my Simply Scored. And just flatten out my cards. I do all my cards at once. I usually don't make a card. I wouldn't make a card base just when I'm about to make a card. I would have a whole stack of these and do all this in one sitting, make my card bases. And then I would adhere my layers. And then I would do my stamping. So I do things in stages, which is how I get a lot done. I'm just going to use the, this is the Seal Plus. It really don't matter which side's which. Seal Plus is super strong adhesive, and you probably don't even need as much as I use. You can see it. It has little ridges on it. It's very easy to use. And let's put that inside. That looks like I made it way too short. You know what? This one was from before. This isn't the one I just cut. Isn't that funny? This is one I cut way earlier, and I had it sitting here as a backup. But this is the one I just cut. This should be... I could take out my placemat. I have a placemat, and I can write down some measurements so that you can start to make your cards too. I hope, yeah, that's better. That's better. I was using a piece from before. Well, I have the adhesive on it already, so I have to keep using that piece. So I say placemat. Here we go. Stampin' Up placemat here. Let's get this little guy going here. Let's see what side of the marker. I'm going to have to use the thick side of the marker. All right, we have card base. Five and okay, you see what I'm doing? This is the card itself. Card base. And then we have those two layers. We just cut the same one so far at the same. We cut those layers. Layer is going to be 5. I just have all this memorized. See, if once in a while you'll get, once you do this so much, you'll just get it memorized. 5 1/4. I'm just going 1/4 inch smaller. Times 4. Okay, so that's all we've done so far. And I hope you're doing this along with me. And I lost that other layer I did. See which one. Yeah, see, these are some short ones I had mixed in with the mix, and they ended up getting, I adhered them. I like to make 2 cards at once. You could stamp the inside of your card and do all that stuff, but I'm never sure what I'm going to be writing on the inside of my cards. Plus, I give a lot of my cards away, so I like to just keep them blank inside. They could be used, this kind of card that we're making can be used for any occasion. All right, let's look at it. Let's take a look at all the stuff we need to do. We need to get the DSP for our Magenta Madness, right? To put on our little panels. So let's do that. Let's get the DSP to put in our panels. It's very easy. It just took me a little bit of tweaking. I'll show you a different card I tried with a bigger piece of DSP in the middle and shorter ones on the outside. And I ended up settling on this style because I like the DSP to be equal portions, but then there's a little bit of a gap in between them. It just helped me showcase the DSP. So for this one, we're going to be cutting these. Let's do this way first. We'll do the long way. 3 3/4. Okay, 3 3/4. Let me make sure I get all my stuff out of the way here. So much stuff in the way. All right, you see, because I want this to go, you can see this. I want this to go this way with the pattern, so I'm doing the long way first. In other words, what I'm doing is I'm cutting the long way first because I want this pattern in the middle to show like that. So I'm cutting 3 3/4 first. Okay. And now, oops, I don't know if you could see it. Here it is, 3 3/4. Easy peasy. We're going to turn it over. Not my trimmer. We're just turning the paper over. And these are going to be 1 5/8. Okay, so think about it. A 1/2 inch is 1 4/8, right? We're just doing fractions here. So this is divided into 1/16 of an inch. So if 1 1/2 is 4/8, we just want it to be 5/8, right? So we have, this is 1 1/2. Oops, let me do this is 1 1/2. And we're doing 2 little smidgens over, which is 5/8. Okay? And that's what we're cutting. 1 5/8. Just go ahead and do a bunch of them. And then you can make a bunch of these cards. 2, 3. We could get 3 out of it. And then we have a little, save your little scraps for other things. Okay? And you still have this whole scrap too. We're making bookmarks next in our next part of the series. So save all these little scraps for your bookmarks. All right. See what we're doing now, just so you can see. Making little panels which showcase the DSP. Okay? You could do the same. You could use the same DSP even and do this. If you wanted to, you could flip it around, see? Do something like that. You could use one color. I mean, it's fine. But let's find the other 2 pieces I had methodically placed here. Okay, here we go. This piece. I decided to do this piece and this piece for my other panels because I thought these pieces were good for putting things on top of without being too busy. So I have the rainbow piece down the middle, the dark one, which I thought the rainbow will go over really nicely, and this piece for contrast. So these don't really matter which way I go, so I'm just going to do the 3-point. I'm going to do these 2 at once now that you know the measurements, and I'll write the measurements down while I get the die cutting machine ready. So 3 3/4, right? Save your scraps. And now we're turning it, and we're making it 1 5/8. Same as before. 1 4/8 is a 1/2. 5/8. You get 1, 2, 3 out of it. So I was all set to finish this series by the end of the month because of sale-a-bration. I had this whole grand plan. Then I designed and developed I had already been designing and developing a spring projects course. And that was finally approved. And I had to stop doing this and make sure I finished up the course launch. So I did a Brother ScanNCut course. So if you're interested in Brother ScanNCut courses of mine, I just did a launch. And there's coupons for $9.99 to take my newest course. So that's what I've been up to. Disappeared for a little bit. Here are the panels. Now let's write this down for you. So this was cardstock. I'm writing CS for cardstock, right? DSP. It doesn't matter what kind of cardstock as long as it coordinates. We're going to go with 3 3/4, like that, times 1 5/8. Make 3 of these, right, times 3. And this one you need 2 of these. One's going to be white. For the cardstock, you need one that's going to be white, like that, and one that's going to be magenta madness. So you need 2 of those, 3 of these, one card base. Well, you get 2 card bases out of each card. All right, so now let's start adhering them. Let's see. We're going to put the little clouds on top. So I'm going to go with the blue part being on top. Always kind of lay them out before you adhere them down. I do the 2 side ones first. Then the middle part has less of a gap. You see how there's a little bit less of a gap in the middle part? So for this part, I honestly have a hard time with card panels. I don't know. It's just my thing. So for me, it is much easier than for me to just take liquid glue, because liquid glue is a little bit more forgiving and gets me that equal, keeps me from getting my panels wonky. So this is just my personal preference for glue for these kind of panels. And I'm going to do the 2 outside ones, and then the gap in the middle won't matter. It'll be an equidistant gap. Okay, so, because you can wiggle this. If you mess it up, you can wiggle it around. Okay, and now you have your middle panel. So now your middle panel doesn't really matter. See, You have a smaller gap between these two panels than you have on the outside. The important thing is, though, the outside, because the outside is the 1/4 inch margin, and then this part was there's little tiny gaps between. And that's what I wanted. I mean, that's exactly how I kept experimenting. And I mean, of course, if you use your ScanNCut, you can get 3 panels exactly like, but the problem is I need something, when I do tutorials like this, I need something that my viewers can repeat on a trimmer and not have to use like crazy math and crazy metric system and all this stuff. Not that the metric system's crazy, but we tend to. All right, there's the panel. So there you go. Card is shaping up, right? On the black. Hope you guys are crafting along with me. We just do that again real quick because I'm here. Because I'm here and I like to have my 3 cards done, 2 cards at the same time. I like to show you that it's just as easy to make 2 cards as it is to make 1 card. Don't ever sit and make 1 card. It doesn't matter if it's a sympathy card and you think, well, I only need 1 sympathy card. Just make 2 of anything that you're making, because you make 2 out of the cardstock anyway. And then you'll have it done, and you'll be less stressed when you need another card. You'll just have it ready. Build up a stash of cards, and you will use them. And if you need places to donate them to, I mean, my team knows of a lot of things. Like one of my team members works in a assisted living facility. Another one has a Show Mercy Crafting. She does assisted living in her local area, and she does 3D crafts for the elderly. I use cards for veterans groups. I mean, there's so many things to do with your cards. In fact, the more cards I have, the more times I get asked to do stuff with the cards. It's kind of funny. It's like people request things, and then sometimes I just find them, or they find me. Build it and they will come. See, now I'm going to do that little part in the middle. Of course, you should be sending cards to your friends and family as well. But I'm just talking about if you just can't stop making cards like me and you need an outlet for them. I'm talking about that kind of thing. If you have like so many cards that you don't know what to do with, there's always something to do with them. So there you go. So that's the panels. And let me put the lid back on the glue, and let's do the die cutting. All right, I need to raise the bar here, literally raise the bar on my tripod. I'm going to unscrew this, so it's going to shake a little bit because I have to do this all the way up here so I can die cut. What I'm using is the bigger Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. You can get the smaller machine next month on sale. We're having a sale on the smaller machine. I prefer the bigger machine, but hey, if you're starting out, you can get the smaller machine. So what I'm doing is I'm opening this up. We're going to do some die cutting. And it has, like, you see how it stores, right? If you really like this machine, a good way to get this machine this month for one more day only is part of your starter kit. This could be your starter kit. So instead of paying the $120 for it, you pay $99 and get free shipping, and then that's your starter kit. Pick out 2 free stamp sets, and you have yourself a machine. All right, and you can even buy some dimensionals too, because you're allowed to spend $125 worth of stuff for $99. What I'm doing is I'm putting in panel cutting plate 1. I'm putting in the thin die adapter, which is plate number 2. This is my sandwich I'm using. I'm going to use one of these plate number 3s and another plate number 3 for the top. And in between is going to be the card that we're cutting. Let's do all our die cutting. And let me also say hi. Oh, we got a spammer, but the rest of you guys are not. Hello, Melody. Yes, I'm here 2 days in a row because yesterday was my course launch. That's why my voice is gone here because I did so many videos in a row. You can't do the videos for your course launch until you're all done the course. By the way, this is something you can create in the ScanNCut course. I have all this stuff on my table still. You can't show your projects until you're all done. So that's why my voice is gone. I had to keep showing course introduction, YouTube introduction, Facebook introduction, questions. I mean, you wouldn't believe how much talking I did yesterday. So now that's why I'm back to the series. Hello, Barbara. Okay, Melissa from Texas. Good. Late night crafting is always good. I craft whenever I can craft is when I craft. It doesn't matter what time. That's why I'm never here at the same time. Oops, got the hiccups a little bit. Okay, hello, Yvonne. All right. PM you about the ScanNCut. Well, just use the form in the top link. Because you're saying PM me. You can't PM people. Gina Marie. I don't know your email address or anything. You might say PM me, and people keep saying that on YouTube. I can't PM anybody on YouTube. Like there is no they don't give us email addresses of any of my subscribers. I'm up to almost like 32,000. I don't know anybody's email address. I can't PM you. But in the description of my video, what am I looking for? I'm looking for some paper to do die cutting, by the way. What I'm doing right now is die cutting. I'm putting this little rainbow paper down, and we're taking this rainbow die. And it just brilliantly fits right on this paper, which is another reason. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 6 reasons times 4. 6 times 4, what's that? 24. You can get 24 of the rainbows I'm showing you out of one pack of Designer Series paper. Because you get 48 sheets in a pack, you get 4 sheets of this. So if that's not reason enough, this piece of paper here and the cloud piece, to me, are the best reasons to get this paper. Look at this. You get your automatic rainbows cut out for you like that. You just use the dies from the catalog, and you can cut them out on the paper. So between that and being able to punch the clouds out of the paper, I mean, hello, there's the reasons to get this paper. I'm personally going to stock up one more time, I think. All right, what I'm doing is I'm looking for my painter's tape. So anyway, I can't PM you. You guys might say, PM me. I don't know your email address. I can't PM you. And you shouldn't put your email address on YouTube, because then you'll get spam because your email address is in a public place. Just use the form, the contact form. What I'm doing is I'm putting a little sticky note down on here. Use the contact form and contact me, and then I'll be glad to write you back about the ScanNCut courses. So just look in the description here where it says ScanNCut courses. In the description of this video, I have coupons to my courses and links to all my courses and all that stuff. All right, so what I just did is I cut out this rainbow. How cool is this rainbow? Look at that. Look at that. All 4 pieces all at once. I didn't have to color them. I didn't have to stamp them. I didn't have to do anything. I love this die. I've cut these out so many times. I don't need to keep cutting them out, but I guess I just wanted you to see that. In fact, you wouldn't believe how many of those I have. I have a whole bag of them, but I wanted to show you how I did it. Okay, next we're die cutting. So that was, we die cut the Design Series paper with the rainbow. The next thing we're doing is cutting some clouds with the white paper, and this little piece with the white paper. That's the next thing we're die cutting. Still Brilliant Rainbows dies. I'm still using Brilliant Rainbow dies. Okay, let's put that down there. We're taking a piece of basic white. We're putting that on there. Basic white, turn it around. Remember, we used basic white for the card layers, so we're just using it again. Just make some clouds. Put that down. Crank it through. Okay, we haven't changed the way our sandwich is. It's the same way. And we have what we need for stamping and the clouds. Now, I had a good suggestion from a viewer to get these little dots. They sometimes puff up. See, I don't know if you could see it, but these little dots that are part of helping you get this die out, make little dots in your clouds, and it kind of drives me crazy. Little details like that. And you're like, hello, don't you ask stampers to help you design the dies? That's what I think. Sometimes I think that. I'm like, are you guys asking stampers, or are you getting the engineers to do it? And the engineers are like, we have to be able to get the little cloud out of the die. And the stampers are like, you're making bumps on my clouds, right? Because stampers have a different view of things. So anyway, this is the die that we just cut out of the metal. Now these little pieces, what the viewer said is, hey, just use your spatula to flatten them out, or your bone folder. And I was like, what a great idea. So let me put those on the black so you can see that. I mean, you might not even be annoyed by little things like that. So you go like that, and here, before I get the bumps out, you might not even be able to see that there are bumps. You're probably like, what bumps? But there are bumps in there from the dies, and what I'm doing is I'm just flattening them out with your spatula or your bone folder. If they annoy you, if they don't, then you're a better person than me, with much more patience and much more. All right, so there you go. So, and then you can just put like little glitters, Winkostella, put some Winkostella on them. All right, next we're die cutting. We're not done die cutting yet, just so you know where we're at here. We've die cut this. We've die cut our rainbow. We've die cut our clouds. We've die cut the piece we need to stamp on. Always stamp on the pieces after you die cut them. Well, you don't have to, but I do. Okay, lastly, we're going to die cut this for You Make Me Happy. Okay, and Denise. Hello, Denise. Hello, Katie. I'm glad you're catching me live, Katie. Okay, we got spammers. Thank you for reporting and blocking the troll, Denise. And Anna, hello. Yvonne, do I ever sleep? Not much, maybe 6 hours a night. Kind of like my dad. He kind of did that too. Too much to do, too little time, like my mom too. She only sleeps like 6 hours a day, but she does it like in spurts. My dad used to get up really early. My mom is a night owl like me. Okay, Sandy K, hello from Illinois. And hello, Betty and Cindy from Iowa. All right, when are the rainbow dies available again? I don't know. Yvonne, can you check? Or Cindy or Sandy, can you guys check? Betty can check. It's called the inventory status report. You guys can check when the dies are going to be available. But the stamp set's available now. So in other words, if you like the stamp set, get it while you can get sale-a-bration items, right? That's a good one to get during sale-a-bration. All right, we need what's called the, what is this called? I have to think of the name first. Hold on, this one I'm using this one next time. Let me get both of the names here. This is our next series, by the way. Beautiful Shapes dies are our next series. If you want to get ahead of the game, I'll be announcing workshop kits for this one soon. So for the next couple months, I'll be doing this Hello Beautiful bundle. Anyway, Beautiful Shapes dies. Here's the one I'm trying to use for this, though. For this card, I'm going to flip over this white paper, and I'm using the Messages die. I absolutely love this die. I'm using it for my bingo, too. I guess I should have used a wider piece of white. It's all good. So, in fact, I'll give you a little bit better way of cutting your paper for it. So get a pair of scissors that's dull. Don't use your beautiful Stampin' Up! Paper snips because they are going to get dull if you use them on paper like this. So you just get an old pair of yucky scissors. When I say yucky, these don't have any fine tunes here. You're just going to cut out a piece like wonky like this, but to surround your die. So that way you're not using extra paper up. Stick your die in there. It's called the Messages die. And get all these sentiments at once, and then you'll have your bucket of crafty goodness overflowing with joy. Here you go. Put that in there. All I need is one piece, but I'm going to always have extra pieces. Every time you run this through, you get loads of extra pieces, and I use about 90% of these. A couple of them are just too small to really stamp onto, but you can use them for a little bling. Don't worry when you hear that cracking sound. Cracking sound is normal for your scanning, for your embossing machine. All right, check this out. I'm done with that machine now. Putting that over there. You can still have the measurements. Check this out. I'm going to put them like this so you can really see these. Wait till you see this die. This is like the best die ever. So, all these little pieces. We're going to use this one for the You Make Me Happy. But the You Make Me Happy fits on here. It fits on here. So if I mess up that one, I can just start You Make Me Happy. It'll fit on here twice probably. Look at all these pieces. And then, if that's not awesome enough, look at these stitch pieces. Look at these stitch. I got to bring it up to the camera. Actually, I think I'm done with the die cutting, so I can actually move this down now. I can move my tripod down. But these pieces are just awesome. And so I just cut out the pieces and then I stamp later. All right, let me figure out the little screw thing. Here we go. I'll just get out my bucket and show you. Where's my bucket of crafty goodness? I got some little Easter ribbons in there. Okay, this is what I'm talking about. See? You just cut out loads of these little things, and then you have them. Loads of the little ones that are stitched on the edge. This one came, I think, from the Give It a Whirl dies. This is another die. There's cool clouds in there. I keep my extra little stamped images in here and my extra little pieces of crafty goodness. So this die is just lovely for that reason. I love having all these extra little pieces. So all we need right now is let's get our silicone mat. We're going to go like that. Actually, let me get I got my tray of ink. Let me get my tray of ink. We just need this piece here. Wait, this one for our card. I have my little tray of ink. Let me find that. I'm trying to be organized and try to, hey, I need these colors for this tutorial. All right, so we're going to use these 3 colors for the tutorial. We're going to put down the silicone. Here's my website. Put my website in there. All right, silicone mat, okay? And this little piece, okay? You Make Me Happy. We're using Rainbow of Happiness. Let's do this. You Make Me Happy. Put it like this on your matte. You put your stamping block on top of it. Okay, and you're just going to go like this. You're going to mount your stamping block on top of it like that. We're going to open up. Let's see what color I used. Misty Moonlight. We're using Misty Moonlight. Okay. Open up Misty Moonlight. Tap, tap, tap. Tap, tap, tap. Stamp onto your scrap paper. Tap, tap, tap. Once it's on your scrap paper and you know you're getting a good stamped image. Here, let's try it again because now it's going to upside down, right side up. Hold on. A little bit more ink. A little bit more ink. Okay, both fingers. Okay, both fingers. There we go. Your scrap paper, you can do it unlimited times. On here, you can do it twice. Okay, it's going to stick because ink sticks. You're going to tap it off. Yay! You make me happy. See that? It's easy to stamp onto it afterwards, but always test your stamp first to make sure you have good ink. Don't try to test it on here. And if you mess it up, you just flip it over, and you could. That's what I mean by you could stamp it twice on here. Stamp it on both sides. Nobody will ever know the difference. Then decide which one you like better. Maybe one's crooked. Maybe one's not very dark. I like that one better. It's a little bit better centered. All right. Thank you, March. Thank you, Yvonne. March 7th. Okay, that's only 1 week away. Thank you, Yvonne. Yvonne looked at the inventory status report. All right, now what I'm doing is I'm stamping the You Make This World a Better Place. Doesn't that make you want to sing? Right, that song? Feed the world, make it a better place. You know, I went to the Live Aid concert when I was in Philadelphia well, that was a long time ago, but I believe that song was from Live Aid. All right, I'm looking for You Make the World a Better Place. This says a little something to brighten your day. Hey, this would work too. A little something to brighten your day would work, as well as You Make the World a Better Place. Okay, I was wondering where that stamp went. It's kind of hanging out up here. So we want this one. So you want to put that one on there. We're going to go with Bermuda Bay. Bermuda Bay is the color. Keep stamping until you get your stamp good, nice and inked. See, it's not as inked on the bottom because maybe the ink isn't even on your stamp pad, right? Maybe you're not using both hands. Both hands is better for stamping. Okay, good. Once I get it good, and I know my pressure I need, and I get the good ink absorption, then I can do this. Hold it for a few seconds for this little delicate stamp, because this delicate stamp, I tend to always miss the word place if I don't hold it there for a few seconds, okay? You make this world a better place. Now, we're going to use all right, so we've used Bermuda Bay, okay? We've used Misty Moonlight. Now we're going to use Flirty Flamingo. These are the 3 colors we're using. Let's put all that there. Flirty Flamingo. We're going to take this. Well, actually, put that over there. We need another stamping block. Just any stamping block. This is just to absorb some ink on your stamping block. We're going to open up the Flirty Flamingo. We're going to dip the stamping block into the ink. See that? This is how you blend. Well, this is how I blend. Other people might dip it straight into the ink pad, but I find that I don't know how much ink is on there that way, and it doesn't give me enough control. I like to know how much ink I'm putting on when I'm blending. I'm using a blending brush. We sell these in packs of 3. Tap, tap, tap. I'm going to get the big blob off, and I'm just going to go ahead and ink around. Oops, I just got ink on it with my hand. Okay? That's okay. That's what butterflies are for. Okay, this one has a lot of ink on it, but that's okay. We're going to do, since I'll get some ink off by just using it on the corners here. So let's put some ink on these corners. What I'm just doing is, I'm just doing this for dimension because it contrasts better when you put a little bit of ink on there. Okay, we got this side. This one's done. You make me happy. We'll use some butterflies on there later to cover up any smudges of ink. It's all good. Okay, let's find some dimensionals. All right, we're going to let's see if the big dimensionals fit on here. Kind of, sort of. They're like a little tight in there. Sometimes you might have to use small dimensionals, but I think we can get these to fit on there. If you just do it right between your fingers, you can do it. And they won't hang over the edge. All right, there you go. You make me happy is done. Now we need a little bit of ink around the edge of this one. You make the world a better place. Let's see how I'm getting ink on my hands? Okay. Wiping it on my clothes. Yes, I am. All right, what we're doing is just kind of, I don't need any more ink on this brush. You can see there's already like too much as it is. So I'm just going to do that around the edges a little bit for dimension. And if you need to, tap in there again. All right, I'm leaving the middle white. The middle is white so that you can really see that, those sentiments. All right, good, good, good. Let's put the card together. We're done. We need some glue. We need dimensionals for these. These two are being popped up with dimensionals. And the clouds, we need a little bit of Wink of Stella. Let's get some Wink of Stella for the clouds. I don't know which ones have Wink of Stella in them. But the clouds are just good to put a little bit of glitter on. Here they are. Here's my clouds. I'm like, where did my clouds go? Put that down here. Just so you can see it better. I'm just using. Okay, there's a dull side of the cloud, and there's an indented side. And by the way, if you missed the cloud, I think it was last video, I did this tutorial where we used cotton to cut out the clouds. It was really fun. That was in this series. I'll show you my cotton clouds. You just use those little cotton pads from CVS or wherever. And you can make little cottony clouds. Okay, that's Wink of Stella's. We have glittery clouds. We have these two. Let's put some dimensionals on them. Okay. All right, let's start putting the card together. I have two cards to put together, but we'll just do one right now. All right, we have this piece. I'm going to build it before I put it on the card. I'm going to build it first, like over here. Let's look at the one as an example. Okay, that kind of goes up here like that. Center it in this panel. Okay, little puffy clouds. Sometimes if your dimensionals are too big, let's see, I think the one puffy cloud, this cloud, they're not too big, so I'm going to put, I can put a big dimensional back there. Put a puffy cloud up here. Okay. Oops. It's tilted. We'll put it up there, kind of over there. Okay. We'll put another puffy cloud over there. And if my dimensional is too big, then you cut the dimensionals. You use the sides. And again, use your dull scissors because you're using adhesives. Use your dull scissors when you're doing stuff like this. Don't use your paper snips. I know the paper snips are only like $10 and they're kind of incredible. But, you know, still, I have two pairs of them. But I still like to just use some of my other scissors for these kind of activities. Okay, puffy cloud. We'll do the last cloud later, but we'll put some, we can put the adhesive on it already. We're not sure where it's going to land. You have to do the rainbow first, I think, to know where that last cloud's going to land. Depends on where my rainbow lands, right? So the rainbow, you're going to start with the bigger piece, right? Just put this little one there as sort of a guide, but you don't need to use it yet. Just start with the bigger piece. And use glue for this. I mean, I found that unless we use those adhesive sheets, it's better to use glue. If we would have used adhesive sheets, we could have made these into stickers. But you know what? I didn't use the adhesive sheets, so we're using glue. But if you used adhesive sheets, you could have die cut out a whole sheet of these. But then I think you would have wasted all the area between the paper. See? Like if you would have used this whole adhesive sheet, you would have wasted. Well, you could probably just use it on these rows. Just use adhesive sheets on the part you want to cut. That would work. All right, so you can pop these up, but it's kind of hard to pop these up because they're so small. So I'm just kind of using. And so you're just putting a little gap between them, see? You just kind of, this rainbow evens out at the bottom. So just make sure the bottom parts next to each other. And see why I use the Misty Moonlight now? See how much better it contrasts with that side of the paper? The Misty Moonlight side, it contrasts so much better than on the right side of the paper. But I wanted to go with the whole rainbow look. I lost the third piece of the rainbow. Where's my rainbow? Here it goes. It's over here. This is the Granny Apple Green. So we have Magenta Madness. What would the other color be? So Saffron maybe, or I don't know. But this one's Granny Apple Green, this piece here. The next little piece is Bermuda Bay. I was trying to tie in the colors, so I used Bermuda Bay ink over there to tie in that color, and there's a piece of Bermuda Bay. So I'm tying in the different colors. There's Misty Moonlight is right there and there on that stripe. So this pretty much has every color of the rainbow, this card. And you notice I'm not doing my final sentiment till last because I have to know where it's going to go. You know, do you make me happy? It can't get in the way of the final sentiment. So there. And then I'm going to rub my hands off here. A lot of ink on them. All right, now we can getting rid of the ink. Put this one down the bottom. Did I already take the end off of that? No, I didn't. It's sticky because of my fingers. Put that up there. Come on, get off me. All right, let's put this way down because my rainbow's there. Put this way down there. It's all good. I can either put it between these two white lines. That would work. I'm trying to look at where to put it. I could put it between those white lines to make it equidistant, or I could put it down there, but then it looks like too far down. So I'm going to go with that one. I'm going to go with over the top of the white lines. That's what I'm going to do. Okay, I'm going to kind of center it. Okay. So now I can work with that last cloud. I'm thinking, maybe I'll still put it up there. I'm trying to think of where I'll put it over here. I'll still put it there. And I'm going to do a couple butterflies. Yes, Hilda, we're live. You're asking if we're live. Okay, I put the little glittered butterfly there. I mean the cloud. Put some butterflies on it. And we are good to go. I don't think I need to give you any more measurements. I'm just going to show you some projects now. But I think I need a few butterflies. I want to put one on this blob of ink over here. Because I don't know if you remember, but I have a blob of ink over there. The Bermuda Bay ink got over there. I'm going to put one down here. Okay, this is what happens when you get glue all over your butterflies. And we'll put one over there. So, those came in your kit too. If you got the Rainbow of Happiness kit, you got some butterflies in there. Hopefully, if I had them at the time. Maybe not the very first people. Okay, this one goes on top of this card now. I should have put it on before I started, I would have probably put it on after I did the rainbow, but I'm putting it on now. This layer. I wanted to make sure that I at least put the Designer Series paper on the card before I attach it to this. And voila. And then right after this, I'm going to make another one. So I'm going to have 3. Because I'm all ready to make the third. Oh, you just got to die cut another. Actually, I don't even have to die cut another rainbow. I already have rainbows. This one is trying to go crooked. Come on. You might have to pull it off real quick. This stuff dries like, what's it called? Concrete. This Seal Plus, but you have to get it there with 2 hands here. All right, so rather than me get glue all over that, I'm just going to do this. Because I have glue all over my hands. There you go. That's the card we just created. Easy peasy. Lots of steps, but now you know all the things. And all those little details are going to really make your card stand out. Little details. The rainbow. These things. But it's not hard. It's just time consuming. You just got to do it all. But it's not as time consuming, when you're going to make a bunch of these at once. You do all the die cutting, you do all the other pieces. I'm just clearing off the ink here so that I don't get it on the projects I'm going to show you, and I have to figure out where that Flirty Flamingo went. There was a block with Flirty Flamingo on it, and I want to make sure it doesn't end up on my projects. There it is. I'm going to put it way over there. So, what have we done in this series? Thank you. I'm glad you like it. This was part 6. And now you can make that card. Now I'm going to show you now what we did in the other parts of the series and other things I did with the Rainbow of Happiness series. Okay? Let's start going back to I don't really have these in any order. So it's not really going to be, I can kind of go backwards though. I think we did this last. So I'll try to go backwards. So that was part, what did we just do? Part 6. In part 5, we created these little boxes in the Rainbow of Happiness series using the Sunshine and Rainbows Designer Series paper, which is free for one more day from my Stampin' Up store. Okay. In part 4, well, I don't even know what part anything was anymore, so it doesn't matter. But we did it in the series. We made these little nail file boxes in the series. So these are just things you might want to go back and watch if you missed them. Okay, we did, here's some more nail file boxes, the rainbows in them. You got rainbows in your kit. I told you to get crafty surprises. I didn't tell anybody we were getting that, but those of you that got the kit, lots of bonuses were in there, like the cotton pieces and everything. In this series, we did these Skittles. And in the next video, if it's my last video, I will show you who won the drawing. Those that get the kit get entered in the drawing. Diaper folds. They get entered into the drawing for the prizes. They get to win something I made in the whole series. I'm looking for the other watercolors. We did a watercoloring session. Here we go. This is what we made in the watercoloring in the series. And this one and this one. We did 2 of them. We made 2 and there were 2. So somewhere are the rest of the watercolors. So watercoloring pencils, we used the watercolor pencils. We created these 2 cards at the same time by cutting out, by watercoloring pieces of shimmery white paper or watercolor paper. And we then used the inside of the rainbow dies for this piece, and we did some embossing on it. And then we did the outside of the rainbows. We used the outside of what we watercolored for this piece, for this card here. So we made 2 cards. Okay, and then this box is also watercolored, and that card is, this is also watercolored with the watercolor pencils. We'll be using watercolor pencils again in the next series. In the next series on Hello Beautiful Bundle. There's another watercoloring example. All right, we did this card in this series. This was part 1 of the series. We did this cloud card, and I showed you how to use that same piece of Designer Series paper. So we used that a couple times to make that rainbow. It's all glittered. We used those messages dies again. So that's what we did. We did all this stuff in the series. And now I want to show you some other things I did on YouTube. In the Ink It Up series, I showed you how to stamp these kind of cards. So if you missed that, look up my Ink It Up series on YouTube and how to stamp the Rainbow of Happiness. You learn how to make that. All right, we also, not in this series, we did a Sale-a-bration Card Club series. And in the Sale-a-bration Card Club series, I have rainbow, we did this card. So I made this on YouTube as well. It's part of the Sale-a-bration Card Club. Those of you that are joining in my bingo next weekend, it's too late to sign up, but that's why you get my newsletter. We are making these in the bingo. This is Rainbow of Happiness bingo we're doing. Okay, and oh, there's another card. There's a couple more. This is also part of the Rainbow of Happiness bingo, this one. And this one. That's a little bonus project. Okay, let's see. Coming up in this series, I'm going to end the series with a bookmark. We're going to make this tag and bookmark in the series. Maybe we'll make them look in different, we'll make them look different ways. All right, so that's all the Rainbow of Happiness series and bingo and card club, which card club has already ended. All right, now I want to show you some things you can do with your ScanNCut and the Rainbow of Happiness. In the ScanNCut video here on YouTube, I showed you how to make these oval windows. I also showed you how to cut out stamped images with your ScanNCut. So there's oval windows, ScanNCut. I showed you how to make shaker cards with your ScanNCut. So look how many times we've used the Rainbow of Happiness series. If you don't think it's get your money's worth out of that bundle, I don't know what's going on. But we have done so much with this bundle that we probably went through 10 packs of paper in this series. All right, so look at all these things you can do with the Rainbow of Happiness. Just loads of fun, loads of fun. Okay, I showed you how to cut out stamped images using Catch You Later stamp set. We use Rainbow of Happiness for the background of most of these. Here's Wobble Springs. These are linked in the description of this video if you want to get Wobble Springs. Okay. Here's some more. Oval window cut out with the ScanNCut. Stamped images cut out with the ScanNCut. I've done stamped images, how to cut out the Way to Goat. I've done how to cut out Catch You Later stamp set. Here's another Catch You Later. This is very similar. Here's the one I wanted to show you. This was my original panel card. See how I made a short panel, a big panel, and a smaller panel? I like it. It's another option, but I ended up going with the option from today with equal size panels because I didn't want to confuse my viewers. All right, so those are all the things you can do with Catch You Later. These are another couple Catch You Later. Although they're not using rainbow paper, this is Catch You Later if you missed that tutorial on how to cut out stamped images with your ScanNCut. And then lastly, I've been working on some other rainbow cards. Like this is a slim line. These are the slim dies. And this is the otters that are only available until tomorrow. This is the otters are part of the sale-a-bration, that stamp set. And then here's another slim card using Rainbow of Happiness paper. Another slim card using Rainbow of Happiness paper and the gingham embossing folder. Oops, it's upside down. And another Rainbow of Happiness card. Just a happy card. All right, so we'll be finishing up this series soon, making some tags, bookmarks, and whatever else we can show you at the end of the series. And then we'll be starting on the next collection in this next month. Well, so we'll start in March. And kits will be available soon. I've been obviously busy with the launch of that ScanNCut course. I'm trying to find the Abstract Beauty and end there. Or it's not called Abstract Beauty. It's called Hello Beauty. And I should have had it out. Okay, Hello Beautiful, page 50. Okay, I'm just going to see if there are any questions and then head out. Head out, because I know it's late for some of you. There you go. This is the next bundle. This is what we're basing the next whole entire workshop. And I delve very deep. I delve very deep when I do workshops. Okay, so we make 3D items. We make cards. You're going to get some of these memories and more cards in your kit. Not everyone's going to get the same ones because there's 10 different ones. You're going to get Designer Series paper in your kit, coordinating cardstock, ephemera. These are the little ephemera pack. You're going to get some of these hexagons and then more. I'm going to give you some other embellishments like butterflies and things. Well, I don't know about butterflies. I think I'm running low on butterflies. But some other embellishments that you can use, coordinating cardstock, and things that you can make all the projects with. Or you could just get your own supplies. It doesn't matter. My videos will be on YouTube for everyone to follow. The kits are just a convenience and surprise for some of you. So this is what we're using in our next series. I just wanted to say that, even though I usually say it at the end of my series, because maybe you guys want to purchase this because it's $42.25 for the bundle, and you might purchase it before sale-a-bration ends and get yourself some free stuff when you spend $50. You might want to get ahead of it and have this Abstract Beauty bundle, because unlike in the past where I used to do bundles in my workshops, I'm not doing that anymore because of the really slow shipping and erratic availability of items. I have to just do kits which have this consumable items. Anyway, thank you all for watching. This is the Paper Chef, and let's see if there's any questions. Thanks, Denise. Thank you, Jody. Yeah, a little fuzzy. I don't know why it's fuzzy. Mine's fuzzy too sometimes. Okay. Thanks, Barbara, Melody, Denise, Hilda. Except purple, I'm not sure what you were talking about. A pair of Teflon. Oh, yeah. Teflon coated scissors for cutting your sticky stuff. Good idea, Denise. Sandy, thank you. Okay, bye, everybody. This is the Paper Chef. See you next time.